It is 6 o'clock. At this time, will the members please register your presence by voting yes? Mr. Lewis.
You have 17 present, 4 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, we'll have the emergency announcement. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you've reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles. This commission did publish on November 24, 2014 in the newspaper of general circulation of Blount County, Tennessee, a notice of public hearing to be held on this date, this time, and this location. This public hearing is now convened and is open to hear all oral testimony and comment on a resolution to amend the zoning resolution of Blount County, Tennessee from R1, Rural District 1 to C, Commercial, for the property located at 3416 Garner Circle at the corner of Montvale Road and Garner Circle. The property is identified as part of Tax Map 092 and Parcel 016.03. Does anyone wish to address the Commission? If you'll come forward and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ingrid Hahn from Louisville. I want to talk about the two items
Ma'am, we're doing a public hearing on the rezoning.
Yes.
Okay.
Did
proceed.
you want me to? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting confused with the meeting after. I think it's premature to talk about rezoning at this point because for the last several months, specifically the October and November Planning Commission meetings, there's been ongoing discussion about commercial development and how that should look if we put in some new kind of commercial zones in the county, in the outside of the urban growth boundaries. There's been talk of design standards that might need to be implemented, and it seems to me we might be getting the cart before the horse here. My other point is that the County Commission and the Planning Commission, as part of that, have the authority to decide what's going to be put, what kind of development we're going to see in a specific area. You can decide what sort of development, is it beauty parlors, gas stations, etc., where it will be located, and how it will look. And that one is important to me. I wanted to address that for a second tonight. You may have been out to the Louisville roundabout where there's a new Dollar General out there. I don't know if you've seen that. Louisville has, the Louisville city has fairly stringent design guidelines in place, and that Dollar General looks very different from the Dollar Generals that you will see, for example, on Hall Road, on Topside Road, and the one that is at the corner of 33 and Sam Houston. The one in Louisville, they asked them to brick it all the way around, which they did. They asked them to use a 6-foot pedestal sign out front, no I don't know how tall those things are, no big tall signs, and to put some landscaping to kind of screen. And that's all very common practice. You can do that, and I would urge you to consider those things as the Planning Commission works on putting together design standards and a list of the kinds of specific businesses that you would wish to see, rather than looking at it piecemeal. Well, we'll approve this one. Well, are we going to approve that one individually? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? If you'll come forward, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sally Joins, and I live on Ralston Road in the Montvale community. And I just want to speak today and say that there's lots of us here, and I'm sure they'll all talk next, right, guys? Against the commercial development in our community. We chose to live in that area because it is a little bit away from town. It's away from the hustle and bustle of traffic. It's away from that chaos, and we want to keep that serenity in our community for our children, for our families, and just for the longevity of that little piece of quiet that we still have in Blount County. The traffic flow alone scares the dickens out of me. I have young children. We live far off the road, but you get delivery trucks and people zooming to that Dollar General to get that Coke in the middle of the night that they just can't live without. It worries me a lot. So I just want to let you know that's what I'm thinking, and I'm sure I'm not alone. All right, and they'll tell you why they don't want it.
This time, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm Kathleen Skinner. Many of you know that I've had concerns with land use issues in Blount County for some time. Hey, Joel.
And you live where?
Oh, I live in Wildwood.
Wildwood.
And so Garner Circle's not on my radar, and I sympathize with the folks who live out that way. I have a comment about the Garner Circle rezoning request. An important factor in this situation is that the property is within the urban growth boundary of Maryville. And I'd like to take the opportunity right now, if I may, to say a few words about urban growth boundaries, because not many know why we have them or how they came about. So if you'll bear with me. Because Tennessee is one of the fastest growing states, in 1998, the state enacted Public Chapter 1101, the Growth Policy Act. 1101 required each county to set a 20-year planned growth area for each of its municipalities, which defines how far out services such as sewer and water will go. One purpose of urban growth boundaries is to minimize sprawl, urban sprawl. 1101 mandates that the area inside the urban growth boundary be used for higher density development, urban development, and the areas outside for lower density development. The goal is to manage encroachment of the cities into agricultural and rural areas. Other purposes of urban growth boundaries are to eliminate annexation. You might remember there was a big to-do about that about some years ago, out of fear, to more closely match the timing of development to the provision of public services, and to stabilize each county's education base. So each county in the state, except those with consolidated city-county governments, has 3 areas. An urban growth area, they have urban growth areas, planned growth areas, and rural areas. Urban growth boundaries encourage compact and contiguous high-density development to be guided into the urban areas. The cities of Maryville, Alcoa, Townsend, Friendsville, Rockford all have urban growth boundaries. But with regards to the rural areas, which is kind of my focus, Blount County is charged with managing growth and natural resources so that impacts to agricultural lands, forests, recreational, and wildlife areas are minimized. Urban growth areas is an important way for Tennessee counties to manage and control urban growth and to protect and manage natural resources. And since Garner Circle property is within urban growth boundary, I think it is reasonable to consider it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, Commission. I'm Jeff White. I live just off Ralston Road, right before it gets to Montvale, Chasewood Lane. Been there 18 years. And just would like to appeal to what happened on the other end of Ralston when a convenience store was put in years ago. As an insurance agent, that one's near and dear to my heart because I've paid many, many claims on that intersection, which used to be far worse before the stop sign showed up. But that continues to be a source of aggravation as far as accidents, just the flow of traffic, just the blooming convenience store in a residential area alone. So now we're on the other end of Ralston, and we want a Dollar General, and it's going to be a similar situation. And since 2010, according to Blount County Sheriff's Office, there's been 35 accidents on Ralston. And I would probably venture to say there'll be a whole lot more if there's a Dollar General down there. And as well, all of us property owners were concerned with that. There's a reason that this was zoned residential to begin with, and we don't want to see it commercial. It's a beautiful area, beautiful countryside. It's quieter, and we would just appeal to you that hopefully it could stay that way. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else?
I'm Larry Hobson. I live within line of sight of that intersection. And my big concern is if you put something there, you know, you can walk outside and actually see the stars at night. We've moved from the city, and we're not used to seeing a lighted parking lot, and it would be, we just hate to see a lighted parking lot 24 hours a day, 1,000 feet from our house, because we moved there because it was going to be a quiet area that we could enjoy. The other concern I have is that if they build a store there, a Dollar General, and they apply for a beer license out there, I don't know if they could get it or not. I don't know if any others do, but if they do, then that would open that location up to service 6 Mile, to service Happy Valley, the top of the world. That would be the first stop that somebody would come to buy beer. And we just hate to see that in our community. It's a good community. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Jenny Costner. I live on Montvale Road, very close to where Ralston comes in. And the traffic on Montvale is very, very heavy. It's a narrow road. There's no shoulders. This street in front of my house often gets used as a drag strip with cars coming both directions going to and from the mountains. The thought of increased traffic with a Dollar General just absolutely scares me. Ambulances are routinely on our road going back and forth for various reasons, and the increase in traffic that would come with a store like Dollar General is something I just really do not want to see. So I'm very concerned about this and hope that it does not happen. Thank you.
Anyone else?
You're going to have to lower this a little bit for me because I am standing up.
Pull it down. Just take hold of it and pull it down. There you go.
There you go. My name is Phil Human. I live at 3153 Montvale Road, but I also deliver the mail on Montvale Road. It is a terror. My butt is puckered up half the time, worried about rear ends. So I think an added traffic is going to be a detriment. It's a great place to live, and I'm 63. I wouldn't mind dying there, but if you could visualize if you live there, how it's going to impact your life. The bright neon lights, the cars going day and night, and the traffic around the school. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Seeing no hands, this public hearing is closed.